Happy Wednesday, freshman multimedia students in the business marketing technology pathway here at Bullard High School. It's me, Mr. Cheney, with another brilliant tutorial. Now, under the Microsoft Office Tools heading in Google Classroom, as you can see on the screen, we have been working in detail about how to use the program Microsoft PowerPoint. So we have part 1 where we went through and we set up our 11 blank slides. We did the snipping tool to get the screenshot of each menu ribbon, and so we have 11 blank slides with just the ribbon on each of them. And then we went through slides 1, 2, and 3, which is the home menu, the insert menu, and the draw menu. Part 2 was slides 4, 5, 6, and so we continued going through the menus and doing some things with each of these slides to demonstrate the tools that are on those ribbons. So 4, 5, 6 was part 2. This video is part 3, and we're going to attempt to do the rest of the slides because the rest of the menus don't have much to actually, it's more setup and procedure with the rest of the menus, but so we're going to go through and do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, hopefully in this last video. So let's get started with that. So we're going to open up this PowerPoint, and as you can see, we have slides 1, 2, 3 with stuff on them. 4, 5, and 6. We did those menus as well. So now, number 7, we're talking about the slideshow ribbon. So let's talk about what that is. So this section right here, called Start Slideshow, is just kind of the controls for starting a presentation. So this one would start it from the beginning. This would start it from the current slide. So if I were to press this button, it would show this particular Microsoft PowerPoint from slide number 7 because that's the one I'm on. This actually integrates with Microsoft Teams so that you could present in Teams, which hopefully we'll never have to use again in a pandemic format, but we use that a lot during that. Customize slideshows. So this is a way, like, let's say that you are presenting to different groups of people. You can like add different slides or take some away for like a certain group that you didn't want them to see because it wasn't necessary. So that's a way to like customize it. Now this is an interesting little feature we may or may not use. Maybe you'll use it in a different class, but rehearse with coach. So PowerPoint actually has like a little coach for you. So if you click this, you're going to get a start rehearsing screen or prompt that looks like this. So it's going to ask you to start the rehearsal, and I'll do that, and actually it's going to ask you, so it says start talking. We'll see if we can actually give you some advice on what your show is. So it'll listen, so I want you to do that. You're not going to have a microphone probably, but it'll give you kind of a report nonetheless. So do 5 or 6 seconds, press stop on that, and then it's going to give you a report. So if you press escape, it'll kind of give you this report right here. So what I want you to do with that is get a screenshot, so snipping tool. We're just going to show that report. So we'll copy and then go back to our slide over here. Paste it on. Slide number 7. Okay, so let's minimize that, and that's what our rehearsal report looks like. Get rid of that. Okay, so now going back to the menu, setting up the slideshow. So again, we're going to do a screenshot of all these features. So this is how you can present by speaker with full screen, browse by individual windows, so forth. You can loop something. You can go without narration, without animations. You can change the colors of your pen and laser pointer. You can start from a different slide, those sorts of things. So again, just to demonstrate how we got that menu, we're going to do the new snipping tool, get that menu onto this slide. So that is just a matter of that, copy, paste, get it onto the slide. So we're going to resize that too. And next on our slideshow, we're going to go over and rehearse timings we won't do now, but basically it allows you to go through each slide, and it'll record every click and every time you move an object and that sort of thing, so that you can rehearse through your slides for a presentation. Record we won't go over because there's an entire menu for that, and these are just parts of the setup of the slide as well. This is if you have multiple monitors like me. There's a presenter mode so that you can see a notes page versus what the audience sees, and then setting captions. So the only two things that I need on this slide are these two graphics, setting up the show and that rehearse with a coach report. Okay, moving on to slide 8. That's the record section. So again, you could record from the very beginning of the show. You can record from the current slide. So now I'm on slide number 8. You can do a screen recording, so you can insert a screen recording that you already did so that you can combine them together, kind of like video editing. And then you can do an audio record as well, so like maybe a voiceover. This helps you export this into a different file type. So PPSX is like a separate slideshow file that does the recording, and this we'll actually use quite a bit, export to video. So we'll be making PowerPoint presentations that have movement that we will make into a video and add music to, and then there's a help section. So from this right here, I'm going to have you do a screen recording that actually goes through slide 1 through 7. So you'll click this, and when you press record, you can actually go through the slides. So we'll go a couple seconds for each one, and it's just going to record and show video of us going through each slide. And I don't need this to be too much, but we're going to get all the way over to slide number 8, and then we'll stop it and put that recording into the slides. So here's slide 7, slide 8, and once you're done, you'll stop the recording and we'll export it. We're going to export that video, desktop. Some of the media in the present can be included in the video. Do you want to continue without including the media? Yes. Okay. And we're going to exit. Here's slide 7, slide 8, and once you're done, so once that recording is done, it'll show it down here on the menu that it's been exported. So it's an MP4 file now, which is a video. So we'll go find that video. And it is here on the desktop. Want to continue? Yes. So we're going to bring that in. Slides. So we'll go up. And in order to put it on our slide, we're going to go to Insert and Video and go find it and put it on here. So it's on our device. I put it on my desktop, and right here is the Practice PowerPoint MP4 that we just did. So that is the only recording I really want to do. I guess I can keep the camera one as well. No, I don't need it because it's right there on the other video. So I'll take that out. And that is the only one that we'll have for record, because we recorded a few of those slides. Alright, slide number 9. Slide number 9 is going to be review. So spelling, obviously you need words to do the spelling stuff, so I'm going to give you a few words that are misspelled on purpose so that it can correct them. Okay, so I've created a text box, which you will do as well, and you'll use these 3 words. So remember from our Google scavenger hunt, we had to look up the word humdinger, so that's the misspelled, and then usually is missing an L, and then I've switched the E and I in achieve. So if I click the spelling section here, it's going to give me this, and it's going to help me fix these. So I can change it to the correct spelling. So this, yep, it caught me with usually, so I'll change that. And then achieve is I before E, so I'll change that. So now I have the correct spellings for those. We could use thesaurus if we needed to. Accessibility is basically for altering text, making it easier to read for people who have sight problems, that sort of thing. So we're not going to go through that so much. Search allows you actually to search without going out to a browser. So it's integrated into Edge, unfortunately, but it does allow you to search files and websites and that sort of thing. Translate. So if we wanted to translate these 3 words into a different language, we could do that. So let us do that. We will translate it to well, just do any language that you'd like. I think I'm going to go with, well, Chinese would be interesting. So let's go Chinese traditional, and I'm going to insert that in there. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back so I can have both. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to do a screenshot of the Chinese version so I can have them back to back. So let's do that. So I'm going to do new. I'm going to do this, the English to Chinese. I'm going to copy and I'm going to put it into this slide. So now I have my text box with the correct spellings. I have this with the translation. Okay, so now we have in the language section, you can proof with different languages as well, which we won't do. Activity, we're not going to show changes. New comment, I'm not really going to go over comments so much because I don't think we'll use them. Showing comments. And then the rest of these menus we're really not going to use. So the only thing on this slide we're gonna show is the text box with the 3 words that we got spelled correctly and the translate button for the review. Okay, slide number 10. Okay, slide 10 is the view menu of the ribbon, and so it's just the different types of views, obviously. So presentation views we'll go over a little bit just to show you what they look like. And then some of the master views, I just want you to see what they look like. We'll probably not work with those too much. We're definitely going to put on the ruler, grid lines, and guides to demonstrate that. Notes we won't. Zoom is kind of self-explanatory. Fit to window we don't need to mess with. Color and grayscale, it's not really important for what we're going to be doing. And then new windows and stuff, we probably with our projects won't use that as well. So let's go over these kind of 3 sections here: presentation views, master views, and the show. So this is normal view. If I take away this translator, then this is normal view. So you have the small slides over here as a sorter, and then you have the main slide here. To resize, you can do this at any time so that you can see these in a smaller, and then you can have more room over here. Or maybe you want to see a bigger version of these and scroll through so that you can work on these slides. So that's one little tool. If you go to outline view, it's kind of the same thing, but you can see the words, so you can actually type in and title these slides or have notes for these slides, and so outline view will help you see that. Slide sorter is kind of them all arranged, and this is a way for you to actually rearrange slides pretty easily. So instead of a vertical view, you've got kind of a horizontal view. So let's say you wanted number 8 over in between 1 and 2, you could do that, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to put it back. And let's do a screenshot of this view. So I do want this on your slide, so we're going to go new, and we're going to do the entire screen so we can see, and we're going to do a copy and put that on to slide number 10, but we're going to go back to normal view in order to do that. So Control V puts that on there, and so now I can see the slide sorter view. Notes page allows you to see the note for each slide. Reading view I'm not going to do. Slide master. So these are ways that you can change automatic date and footer and slide number stuff. You can put your logo on it, so companies will often put their logo and that sort of thing so that every slide shows the same amount of information. I'm not going to go too much into that part. And then this I do want to show. So normal, we'll go back to normal. We're on slide 10. Let's everybody put your ruler on, so that helps you measure both horizontally and vertically. Let's put grid lines on, which actually helps you place items and center them and that sort of thing. And then guides. A guide is actually just down the X and Y axis at 0. So we're going to put all 3 of those on, and that will be it for slide number 10. And lastly, we're going to go slide 11. Okay, so slide 11 is getting help from PowerPoint about PowerPoint. So there are going to be a couple things that we're going to do a screenshot of to put on this slide. If you click the help icon up here on the ribbon, what's going to happen is you're going to get this pop out over to the side. So we do want to actually get a screenshot of that, so I'm going to use my snipping tool to do so. So new, I'm going to make sure I see the word help. Let's get the whole column. I'm going to press the copy button, come back over, Control V to paste, and I'm going to resize because I'm going to put 1 or 2 more things. So that's what the help menu looks like. So I can close that out, go back to the help menu here. If I needed to contact support, it's going to show that feature, which we probably don't need to do. Feedback, not so much, but one that I do want you to get a screenshot of is show training. So in the help ribbon, show training, this is where you can get additional training about PowerPoint in case in one of our projects you needed help on something like animation or video or how to do pictures and graphics and that sort of thing. So yes, let's do a screenshot of that as well. So we'll do new, and we're going to do a screenshot of the show training part and do a copy, go over here, do a paste and resize, and that way we know that those exist. So we can close that out, and that is our PowerPoint training parts 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, we have something on every slide, and we've gone through every menu. Not every little button and key feature, but most of what we're going to need for our future projects. Make sure you have all of those things that I asked you include in each of these slides, including the screenshots, and that should do it for our introduction to PowerPoint for Microsoft. Thank you very much. I will see you back in class.